Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope everyone's having a great day. My name is Ace. Today we're going to be reacting to a subscriber request. This request is by Dragon Spears, so shout out to you. We're actually going to be watching a video that I'm really interested in. The second Hokage deserves more credit. This is by SethTheProgrammer, so shout out to SethTheProgrammer. He makes great content for YouTube. I have his link in the description. Make sure you check out his content before you check out mine. But other than that, if you guys have any suggestions, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, trigger those bells, stay notified. Let's check out the video. Just make sure I'm recording here.
Yes, TobyRama Senju, the second dude of all people, deserves more credit. SethTheProgrammer,
Straight up.
the guy
I
who
agree.
TobyRama is the 9th strongest Kage, is saying this now.
Wait, I saw this video from Weakest to Strongest. I'm pretty sure I saw this video where he basically says that Minato does every one of TobyRama's jutsus. Checking to see if it's still recording. Does all of TobyRama's jutsus better than him.
Of course, when I say he deserves more credit, I myself am admitting I underestimated him, and this video will be making amends for that, as recently I found a good way to word his strength that makes him as powerful as he more rightfully should be, as well as convince myself that it's an accurate and fair analysis. As always though, if you do like the video, maybe you're just a TobyRama fan, maybe you just like vibing and listening to people talk about Naruto, consider hitting that like button, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you've been here before, maybe this isn't your first rodeo with me, consider characters to the entire franchise. Without him, many things would not exist that makes Naruto what it is today, even remotely. He is the one who designed the Shinobi academic system. He invented the shadow clone jutsu that Naruto,
the police force,
and all top shinobi would spam like no tomorrow. He invented the flying Raijin that would allow him to defeat the brother of Madara Uchiha and make Minato into someone who is hailed as having godlike unparalleled speed, and to solo the third great ninja war practically by himself, with TobyRama also inventing the reanimation jutsu, which would become the catalyst for Orochimaru and Kabuto Yakushi to ascend to the position of challenging people that were once considered gods as shinobi, or legends throughout history. It might not be a total exaggeration to say that if these men and legends were considered gods in their crafts, that TobyRama is the pioneer of the gods. For the
hey man, I'm liking this video already because absolutely, man, when you think about like powerful shinobi, you gotta think of like their history. Like for example, all the Uchiha are praised as elite, talented shinobi. You got Obito, Madara, Shisui, Itachi, Sasuke. Doesn't it make sense that freaking Hashirama's brother is gonna be really freaking strong, talented, smart? Just it makes sense, man.
I used to be guilty of this. The biggest downplay of TobyRama tends to be his two losses to Kinkaku and Ginkaku, one being during the summit when he was ambushed with the second Raikage, and the other when he was on mission with a young Danzo and Hiruzen, and ended up being hunted down by the Kinkaku force. I just want to come out and say, this is not an anti-feat. Shocker, I know. This might sound a little crazy to some people, but I think it's important to go over Kinkaku and Ginkaku before jumping to conclusions. Kinkaku and Ginkaku are known to be impressive for two things: their ability to use and access to the Sage of Six Paths 5 ninja tools, and the fact that they dove into the Nine Tails and ate its chakra and innards for 2 weeks straight, gaining the ability to access version 2 Nine Tails cloaks. Many people lowball them because their base states didn't do very well against Darui. However, even then it can be argued many things were them intentionally goofing off, such as Kinkaku having his arm get cut off so he could kick his golden rope into him and proceed to start the process of...
Yeah, bro, people gotta also remember, Darui isn't weak. This guy is the Hokage's right-hand man. He's strong for a reason, man. It's like, for example, when we look at it into the perspective, the people that are right next to the Hokages or Kage are supposed to be really strong. That's why, for example, Hashirama had TobyRama next to him. Strong as fuck. Kakashi, if he would have been a Hokage, he probably would have had Guy next to him. OP as fuck.
Sealing him away. They were also able to
So like if they did lose to Darui, which obviously we know they did, I mean, it's not terrible. It doesn't mean that Ginkaku and Kinkaku are like super weak. It just means that Darui is that much stronger.
React to the laser circus and so forth, and were in nerfed Edo states. But as I said before, their base forms are not what they're known for. Their transformed states are what is truly terrifying. Once transformed, Kinkaku is so powerful that the 4th Raikage actually thinks that he is completely unstoppable. And this isn't far-fetched to say. Remember that even when
he was underestimating the Shinobi Alliance.
Tailed version 2 Ninetales cloak, Naruto was putting the moves on Sannin level fighters when he was considerably weaker at the start of Shippuden. This means that the 4th Raikage, someone who he himself scales above the perfect Jinchuriki, 8-Tails, Yukito, and Darui, thinks nobody can fight Kinkaku without the Sage's Amber Purifying Pot. It's to the point that all of First Company, even Second Company, starts jumping him, including Kitsuchi, who can pin down the Geto Mazo, and it still absolutely does no damage to him, even with all of them combining their attacks and catching him off guard. Eventually, Kishimoto just had to hack him out by having Kinkaku get caught off guard by Ino's mind transfer, which even worked on Renegon Obito at one point, and after breaking out of Shikamaru's shadow possession and throwing Choji away. Then, once she mind transferred, she allowed herself to be sealed, and Kinkaku was gone. In no shape, way, or form is this some kind of power scaling anti-feat for Kinkaku, nor the second Hokage. And everyone in the Alliance was actually scared of him and extremely joyed when they won in such a cheap way.
Man.
You could argue that the 4th Raikage thought that only nobody in Darui's platoon stood a chance. It should still be noted that the 4th Raikage thought he would personally have to fight them to stand a chance, and never made any such comment about anybody else but Madara himself. Now imagine Tobirama potentially having to brawl with both of them in their transformed states, or even both of them in their transformed states alongside their entire platoon.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. Like, when you think about it, Toriyama was definitely at a disadvantage. I'm just really disappointed that they didn't let him take that W, man. Because, like, if you think about it, if that was Hashirama, it would have been GG's for the other guys. There would have been no fight. That would have been it. Hokage would have stayed alive and everything. I'm just a little disappointed that Kishimoto can make all the Uchiha basically gods and rival big-name shinobis. But the Senju, you got Tobirama like up here. No, my bad. Hashirama like up here, and then you got like Tobirama up here, and then the rest of the world here. But like the big difference, man, it's just crazy.
Of 20 elite shinobi, and you can see why his death or heavy.
Oh, and quick thing too, like even when we're looking at like Tsunade, it's crazy because Tsunade is not that strong. She's physically strong, but when it comes to like the shinobi of Naruto, especially when it comes to the pain arc and after that, she's not that strong. And that's what kind of like it disappoints me that Kishimoto, for me, in my personal opinion, Kishimoto was just basically to the Uchiha, and everyone else was just like, it is what it is, man.
Every damage that caused his death is justified. Even if you just say that Tobirama scales above Darui and Suigetsu, this would be all the reasoning you'd need to assume that Kinkaku and Genkaku likely transformed against him, especially considering during his time Tobirama was considered the fastest shinobi and was the second Hokage. They'd have no reason to assume he was some Kage's goon and possibly not try their utmost at first or mess around like they did for Darui. Now, I'll go into his scaling with Suigetsu later, but during the mission where he was hunted by the Kinkaku force, he may have also not actually have been at full power as well. As it's implied, they were already out on a mission, then started getting tracked by them.
True. Maybe he might have been tired or something like that.
Considering the squad that he's on is seriously packed with Danzo, Hiruzen, and Tobirama in their youth. And this is just my headcanon here, but I wouldn't be surprised if the reason Hiruzen became known as the goddess shinobi of his era was from getting revenge and taking out Kinkaku and Genkaku by himself and avenging Tobirama. Just my thoughts, although I'm curious who you guys think might have been strong enough to do it, as it's implied by Kakuzu that Kinkaku rampaged when Genkaku kicked the bucket. Another potential reason is that Obito and the Akatsuki were responsible, although it's a bit weird they'd even want to hunt Naruto or bother with it if they'd already had those two available already with their Nine-Tails chakra, and I doubt the Akatsuki would kill them. You could also imply that Kakuzu witnessed Tobirama bodying Genkaku, and that's when Kinkaku rampaged along with Kakuzu and all these other shinobi and then just destroyed
that would make more sense. I like that better.
Maybe you guys would be more willing to listen to Tobirama's true strength in a somewhat brighter light than he's just a feetless fodder or something. Now, unlike Minato and Hiruzen, Tobirama's powers are not as nuanced, and he can almost be considered Batman-like in how effective and on the nose with his encounters and readings of situations he has. An example being when everyone is awing over Obito's strength or caught up in their feelings of the past, Tobirama is constantly thinking of the situation, such as Minato's arm not being able to regenerate, Senjutsu working on Obito's truth-seeking orbs, and how to distract and tag him numerous times, which in itself is insanely impressive considering how skillful of a fighter Obito should be by this point, and all the battles he himself has fought in the training he did with Zetsu's, Minato, and even Madara as a child. Even when the Divine Tree was threatening to eliminate everyone in the Alliance, Tobirama was instantly thinking of counters, something even Shikamaru at the time couldn't even conceive of. When he first appeared as an Edo Tensei and had retained enough power and sanity to actually show his personality, unlike the first Hiruzen fight, he instantly flexed and got ready to eliminate Sasuke Uchiha on sight when Sasuke remotely implied he could be a...
Bro, I wish this dude would have done something to Sasuke. In case I never made it clear enough, if you guys haven't seen my previous reaction videos, check them out. I'm not the biggest fan of Sasuke. I don't hate him or anything. I'm just not a fan of how cocky this dude is, how he thinks he's above everyone. This dude thought he was above Obito when at the time he was talking about when he was going as Madara. But I just wish Tobirama would have smacked this kid, bro. Put him in his place. I like Sasuke. I'm not a fan when he's cocky, you know. Later in the later episodes, I think he's pretty cool, but...
possible enemy of Konoha. Tobirama powering up was so impressive that it made Sasuke somewhat antsy, who at the time has the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and began to literally melt and scare Suigetsu, and he hid behind Orochimaru.
I mean, you gotta think about it though. Like, if Tobirama was really about to do something against Sasuke, and everyone Orochimaru and the squad decided to actually fight full on Tobirama, you know for a fact this boy Hashirama coming in, and then it's game over. And it's like the whole objective that they tried to do, like talking and getting an explanation, that's not happening because Hashirama's clapping everyone's cheeks. Then the anime ends because Madara and Obito won, all because they decided to press the Hokages. It's just like, oh man. So they had to chill.
Now, normally, bodying Suigetsu is...
Tell me I'm wrong, though. Tell me I'm wrong.
In this case, it kind of is. Suigetsu would be the same guy who would throw hands with Darui and Killer Bee and would still be able to retain his composure until he was blown apart by a Bijou blast.
Dude got clapped both times. What do you mean?
Suigetsu was also relevant in damaging Guru Yamato with Orochimaru, Karin, and Jugo as well, but the fact that Tobirama's aura alone had more presence and ability than the entire Eight Tails Killer Bee is something of extreme note. Hashirama was more blatant with melting him than Tobirama, but come on, it's Hashirama. It's not that bad of a comparison. This is extremely consistent since even as an Edo so nerfed he could barely speak under Orochimaru, he was able to duke it out and even push Hiruzen, who even as an old man was stated as the strongest of the 5 Kage of his time, even stronger than Raikage A, who was considered stronger than B and Yugito in his version 2 Lightning Cloak at that time. Yet heavily
the Kage. I thought he meant like the whole Kage. I'm like, that's not true.
Not a shock that a much stronger variant could potentially outclass even a transformed Killer Bee, and even in this much stronger variant,
let's look at that.
Potentially outclass even a
That looks badass. Like in a sense, kind of if you squint and tilt a little bit, it seems like he's going Super Saiyan. I think that's a badass shot. I keep checking the mic to make sure it's on.
In this much stronger variant during the war, he is so weakened that he struggles to make just 2 shadow clones at certain points, let alone
I remember that.
Abilities.
He was like, how embarrassing, I can only make 2.
Can make more clones than that, and even with more training, Kakashi bodies him and says, maybe you're Chunin level. So keep that in mind when you're looking at Edo Tobirama only making 2 shadow clones. His most underestimated and talked about technique, however, other than his strange soul transfer jutsu, is his tandem paper bombs. This is an ancillary technique for the Edo Tensei he did not get to use against Kikuku and Ginkaku, and that requires an Edo Tensei to even use. In the manga and anime, he uses this technique against Ten Tails Obito, and it doesn't really faze him, as obviously Obito is a beast. He's the same guy who can instantly bust out of Sage Hashirama's deity gates and pop the Hokage's 4-yang barrier that even withstood a Ten Tails Bijou bomb with just his physical strength. So, no real shocker that one of the Edo Hokage wouldn't just solo him with a jutsu. However, many people recently have re-looked at this feat and noticed something kind of extraordinary. I want you guys to look at this page here after Obito becomes the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, and notice how Hashirama's deity gates that pin down the Ten Tails initially are all still there. This means that the deity gates could withstand the point-blank, contained and concentrated power of the Ten Tails unleashing a Bijou bomb. And this in itself is impressive, but not an absolute shocker. After all, these are the same things that could hold it down to begin with.
Yeah.
As a reminder, this Ten Tails is the same one with a Bijou bomb who vaporized the headquarters of the Shinobi Alliance, but then these gates appear
that's
again
pretty
later,
dope.
and
Even
Obito
after
brings out
years and
all
years
of
that
them
Naruto's
except
ended,
one,
you're
which then
still
is where the
seeing and
Hokage
discovering
would
new
land and the
things.
tandem paper
That's so
bomb would be
dope.
set up. These tandem paper bombs then obliterate Hashirama's largest deity gate, and Obito is even implied to have somewhat protected himself with his truth-seeking powers. And without a doubt, if you were to pit Tobirama in his Edo state against Kinkaku and Ginkaku, and he'd literally just nuke them with a jutsu that would even scare the Ten Tails.
Yeah.
Now, the exact power of this is pretty hard to measure, but busting a deity gate from Sage Hashirama that can hold down the Ten Tails and withstand Bijou bombs from it is pretty impressive, as I've explained. But along with his insane chakra and high Kage level power, his speed is of course up for debate as one of the top tiers of non-Six Paths Shippuden. And in the words of Madara Uchiha himself, Tobirama used to boast the fastest speed of any shinobi. Now, I've heard boast is supposed to mean that Tobirama falsely bragged about his speed. However, in this case, it's more so referring to something he possessed. An example, Hashirama boasts immense strength. Doesn't mean he brags about his strength. And it was supposed to be Madara complimenting him to bring light to the situation of how nerfed he is at the moment. Some will say that this is referencing to only during Tobirama's era, which is understandable, but that still makes him faster than Kinkaku and Ginkaku in their transformed states, Tsuchikage Mu and Mizukage Gengetsu. Mu being the same guy who as an Edo believed he could keep up with KCM Naruto's clones, that could somewhat duke it out with the Edo 3rd Raikage, and was caught off guard by Naruto's QB abilities to stretch his arms and
he really thought he was faster than Naruto back then.
Tobirama was also able to tag Ten Tails Obito so many times that it's absurd, and in one instance is able to cover him in Paper Bomb by the time Obito splits him in half alongside Hashirama. Hashirama, Minato, Hiruzen, and Tobirama then proceed to nuke Obito with Tobirama's...
Yeah, man, you gotta think, it's insane. Like, you gotta rewatch Naruto and look at the discussions at how many times Tobirama got, like, the advantage and Tag stayed calm, was thinking ahead. This dude is big brain as fuck.
One of my favorite feats of his is when he uses the Alliance as a decoy to try to destroy Madara the same way he did Izuna. Madara tries to counter and actually stab Tobirama, but Tobirama is able to react point blank and teleport out of the way, then gets off screen. This is Sage Mode Alive Renegon Madara, the same Madara who just sent a Limbo clone around the battlefield so fast that he took out all of the Bijou before Kurama could even say anything was happening. Yet, here's Tobirama reacting to the actual full body of Madara. Madara also makes note of this, saying that Hashirama and Tobirama not being able to regain their full strength must be fate, and that he looks pitiful for someone who used to be the fastest, as I said earlier. Remember how everyone hyped up Jonin and Minato for dodging the Raikage point blank? Here's Tobirama doing the same thing with Sage Mode Renegon Madara, not just a Jonin A. Now, I'm not commenting on Tobirama versus Minato in their primes or saying Minato dodging the Raikage and is used as his best feat or anything, but simply bringing light to the fact that Tobirama does have good feats worth mentioning.
The fact that this dude Minato could flick a kunai before this dude, the fast Raikage could get to him, yeah, that's crazy. And to compare that to Tobirama versus Madara, that's dope. I agree with that. That's a good feat.
It teleports it back to Obito. KCM Minato can also barely react to it as well. However, as I've outlined in my 4th Hokage's underrated video, Minato is not at his full capacity due to his mental barriers from fighting Obito, similar to Hiruzen versus Orochimaru. Now, there is a common misconception Madara's equal, that people used to say Tobirama in his prime is a rival to Madara back in the day. However, that was only in Itachi's flashback, which we know is not accurate to the original set of events. It was mainly to goad Sasuke on. Izuna and Tobirama are clearly shown and stated to be under Hashirama and Madara numerous times. It should also be common sense, but not everyone realizes the flashback memories aren't all actually events that happen, and some are just stories told by other people outside of the actual events of the main continuity.
I mean, dude, it's hard to freaking... Oh, man, it's hard because there's, like, so many flashbacks, so many fillers, so many, like... Naruto was long as F, man. It was long as heck. It took years for me to finish it.
All in all, Tobirama might not be the most godly ninja of all time, with hacked big tree muscles or Six Paths reincarnation.
He wasn't gifted, man. He's just strong as...
Orochimaru and Hiruzen respect him as much as they did, with Orochimaru saying Tobirama is the Hokage he respects the most, and with Danzo ending the Uchiha as he felt, it was Tobirama's mission in war with the Uchiha. Orochimaru probably respected Tobirama more for what he did than why he did it. His students and old teammates such as Danzo are more than likely more personal than Orochimaru's favor. It is interesting to note that Tobirama is more than likely more tolerant of the Uchiha despite having a literal war with them than Danzo. I had a conversation with my friends Karthus Dojo and Clyde about this, and I think they did make good points as I was going around asking people what their opinions were on it. And Tobirama is a shinobi who was crafted by acting in the moment, acting in war, which is why he always seems to react instantaneously and ultra practically. Even as a child, he would learn that if true peace was to be reached, that talks would need to happen, and deals would have to be made, and while he seemed to work with the Uchiha in the end due to Hashirama's wishes, it seems as though he never truly got over the conflict with them and the death of his own brother Itami Senju at their hands. They would begin to construct the village and its policies.
Imagine if Itami Senju would have stayed alive. I'm really curious to see how strong he would have turned out and what he would have been like. Just imagine 3 Senju brothers, 3 Senjus. Maybe 3 Senju Hokage.
Many conflicts and deaths in the 4th Great Ninja War, and in a sense, he's the Senju's Uchiha, whereas the Uchiha and Senju are both clans that experience love to an insane degree, and in the shinobi world, love conversely turns to hatred. The Uchiha clan are a clan that acquire power due to hatred, and this Tobirama is a shinobi who searches for power due to love and hatred, and his love and hatred may have been even greater than many of theirs. In the end, though, it really does seem that he saw the Uchiha for what they really were, a clan that loved more than any other, that was empowered and intoxicated by hate and loss whenever it happened. Now, before
they got a Rock Lee in the clan.
Intoxicated by hate and loss whenever it happened. Now, before we end the video, I do want to go over one thing that kind of irks me a little bit about the community, and I want to emphasize that when you compare characters like Danzo to Tobirama and their outlook on the Uchiha, we really get to see where Danzo has so much distaste for the Uchiha that he couldn't care less if they were completely just wiped out, and even say something.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna end it there just because I'm not really interested in hearing anything about Danzo. I don't like Danzo, I think he's an idiot. But there's the video by SethTheProgrammer. Make sure you check out his channel, in the link in the description. I'll put a link to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about this. I thought this was pretty dope. It's a different insight on the Hokage because he really got outshone by all the other Kage and basically the main characters that you don't really get to appreciate him as much. But you have to understand, this dude is strong AF. I wish he was more of a presence in Naruto. I wish he had better feats. But Kishimoto was really just adamant about making the Uchiha gods and making everything about the Uchiha, and of course also Naruto. But I'm fine with Naruto. The only thing is, I wish I forgot the name, Izanami, or the brother, the third brother of the Senju, would have stayed alive. I wish Tsunade would have been a more powerful shinobi. But to me, my ending thoughts, I think Tobirama is really strong, well-rounded shinobi. Strong AF. But anyways, that's enough of me talking. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what else you want me to react to, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.